Holy crap! I've never done this before. I sewed a block wrong. Are you kidding me? Oh man, can you see it? Crap, crap, crap. Oh! I want to do a patriotic quilt for the back of my couch, so I have been saving my red, white, and blue fabric. Some of it is from patriotic collections, others is not, and I'm just going to mash it all together. I don't know if I'm going to use this blue or not. I could, but I also couldn't. I'm looking at pieces that are width of fabric. I want to cut 2.5-inch strips out, and I specifically want different red, white, and blue strips for this project. This is the order that I'm going to lay my block out in. It will be white, red, blue, blue, red, white, blue, red. Every block will be laid out the same. I'm just going to build some blocks now. Now that my blocks are laid out, I'm going to lower my table and sew. And I will stitch them together in this order. When I put them together, it doesn't matter if you do selvage edge or not at the top. I'm going to make sure that they're pretty much even at the top. I'm using the side of my presser foot for a guide, which is a scant 1/4 inch. And it doesn't matter if you sew with a 1/4 inch or a scant 1/4 inch, just as long as everything is the same throughout the quilt. So it's easiest for me to do the scant 1/4. The next one is a blue strip. Can you see that that's pretty uneven? And it doesn't matter because we just need enough to get our 8 sections out, and there is going to be plenty to do that. What's important is to have one edge that is pretty even at one side. If you do it that way, there'll be less fabric wasted. Now this is sewed in the order that I laid it out in, and I'm going to sew the other 3, and I'll have 3 blocks to take to the iron. The next step in this block construction is to press the seams flat. Now you could press them open if you wanted to, but it's extra work and you're going to be nesting them later on. Notice that I'm really not stretching them. I'm just gently laying them over, and I want them to stay even Steven. This is the bottom where they're all different lengths. Then I'm going to take it from the top As I'm doing this, I'm giving them a shot of steam. I now have 4 blocks with strip sets in the same order. So they all start in the same order and go through all the way. What I'm going to do is make a tube out of each of these strip sets. What you want to do is fold this raw edge to the other raw edge like so. And what you're looking for is the same amount of tension or direction on this bottom piece. For instance, you wouldn't want it to be, you know, like this, where it's pretty wide here and a little narrow here. You want this to be the same. So play with it, be gentle with it, don't pull or tug, flip it over and make sure you're getting what you want. Gently move it into place and take a look. I really think that this is the same all the way down. Well, now it is. This is pretty much the same. I'm going to sew it together. Now, one thing I want to point out, it doesn't matter if these ends aren't even, and you know this end is not going to be even, definitely, but we're going to trim it up to get it where we want it. So I'm going to run a scant 1/4 inch seam on this. And look at that. I have a sleeve or a tube. Now it's a sleeve. Now it's not a sleeve. Did you like that magic trick? I'm going to do that with each of these. So I have 4 of these tubes, and I'll do that until I take you to the next step. With this next step, you're going to see why we needed like almost 20 inches. The first thing you want to do is trim off this edge here where it's almost the same. And I'm going to do the best I can, lining it up on the line just to square up that edge, because you want a good edge that is squared up for the next step, or I should say for the next cut. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to flip it around, and I'm not going to use the lines on my cutting mat. I'm going to use the lines on my ruler. I want to cut 8 2.5 inch strips off of this strip set or this tube length. And when I do, I'm going to lay this 2.5 inch right on the edge, and I am going to line up one of the lines as best as I can on the seam line. So this line right here is lined up on the seam line, and then I'm going to give it a slice. And I'm going to continue doing that for 7 more times, or until I have 8 strips. This is such a fun, rewarding block to make. I really, really like it. While I'm cutting this, I'm going to remind everybody that's watching that I have a retreat coming up. If you'd like to join us, I still have some tickets left. It's the 3rd of September in Albion, Idaho. All the details are on my website. My website is sisterchicksquilting.com. Look under retreat. You can read about the retreat, see pictures of our last retreats, and then join us. I got asked the other day if we really have a camel at our retreat. Yes, there's a camel at the retreat. You know, there's just so many things that I have to arrange, and one of them is booking the camel each year. I'm kidding, there is a camel, but I don't book it. So this is that uneven edge, and I'm just going to throw those away, even though I'm a scrappy quilter. Move on to my next one until I have stacks of 8 like this out of each one of these tubes. Here I have 4 stacks of 8 strips each. I'm going to only work on one at a time, so I'll set those aside over there. And they're all facing the same way. For instance, do you remember what color the first strip on the left was? Well, it was white, and so I'm going to go to that white one. And by the way, all of these strips are in the same order with white, white, white. All right? So I'm going to take the first strip, and I'm going to unpick on the white some stitches, and it just pulls apart like that. I pull the loose threads, and then I'm going to lay this down right here like so. The next one that I pick, now a lot of people when they're doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this one so the next one, the white's here, then it's here, then it's here, then it's here. And I have a really easy trick to figure out how to do that. And it took me a minute to remember it. But you want this white one to be right here. And you're going to move it just one space. So what you always want to do is look at the top of your strip right here. So this is red flowers and dark blue fireworks. So I'm going to turn this over and look for the spaces where the red flowers and the dark blue fireworks are. And I'm going to take 3. There we go. I'm just going to unpick some threads and I'm going to pull it between those two. And then I'm going to open it up. Look at that. And it worked. So on the next one, what do you think I'm going to look at again? I'm going to go back to the top. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to look for a blue firework and a white with a red star. And those two are together, the blue firework and the red star. I'm just going to go in and take out 3 pieces. Look at that, 3 pieces, and it just popped right out. So the unpicking that you have to do on this is not bad at all. And you're wanting to follow this piece up all the way to make sure it's right. Now, the next one is going to be a red and a white with a red star. So we'll go to that one. Oh, it's the wrong one. Look at, you know what, I did white with red stars twice on this strip. And here it is with 2 different ones, and I was a little nervous, but then I turned it back, and here is the white with the red star. So we're just gonna go unpick 3 little stitches, and when we do, we'll turn this up. Look at that, will you? And we're gonna continue that way all the way down. So the next one, of course, you tell me what I'm going to unpick. Is it gonna be the red poppy and the blue star? No, you're right. It's going to be the light blue gingham and the solid red. So I go to where they are and do my 3 little stitches again. And there it goes. And we can't put that one there, so we turn it over and we put it at the bottom. Isn't this fun how you can just line these blocks up? There, now you can see an entire block. And the blue star and the gingham, 1, 2, 3. And we've got 8 blocks down and 8 blocks across, okay? And before you know it, we'll be sewing. But there's an important step to take before you sew one of these blocks together, which I'm going to show you. Look at that, one more, and we'll have a complete block. And it's going to be the red poppy and the red and white star. The next thing you want to do is this. Now remember, is sew them together. And you want to nest the seams. But do you remember when we pressed them all the same direction? Well, what I was doing before was taking one and finger pressing it as I go, and then making it work, finger pressing it, make it work, pin it. It was kind of a pain in the neck. Let me show you the slick trick that is going to make this go super fast, and you'll have a block done before you know it. Now, I have my block lined up on the table behind me in the same order, and I'm going to pull from the left to the right. So this is the first strip in the block, and I'm just going to leave it folded the way it is. Give it a press, making sure. I forgot to push the steam out of my iron. There we go. And I'm going to keep it turned over, because I want to see which way the seams go. So I know that this one goes like this, right? But these are all ironed down, so I'm going to flip it and press them the other way. There we go. I'll give it a quick press on the other side, and then I'm going to lay this down, and these seams will nest with those because the nesting is really key. And I'm going to do that for this whole block. Now this one, every other block, of course, is going to be in the right position, okay? And every other block, I will have to repress. So that goes like that, but I want it to go like this. Seal the deal by putting it on the top there. Look at that. Would you look at that? I'm lining up this entire block this way. I'm using my Laura Star steam iron. It sure helps to have the steam. I don't want to make you jealous or anything, but Laura Star steam does not shrink. This is the step that is going to make the construction of this block go super duper fast. You're going to really be glad you did this. Now, I have made so many Scrappy Trip Around the World blocks and quilts before, and never once have I done this. I have done them all by hand, like I showed you previously, as I was sewing them, and it took way too much time to sew them. But let's take these to the machine and I'll show you how I nest them and how fast it goes. Here they are all in order. They're upside down, so I'm going to turn them over because remember, in the bottom left was my white block. So I'm going to do that one first. I'm going to be sewing onto the right side of these blocks. Look at how nice that's going to nest, and I'm just going to flip it over. What I choose to do is just use like 3 pins. Like last night, I was whipping through these so fast with just 3 pins. I'm going every other one, making sure that I get that little nest in. You can fill it with your finger. Ready? Here I go. It's really important to make sure these seams are nested and the corners are going to be square. The reason it's important is because look at all these colors you have. So let's take a look at our joints or intersections where they come together. Truthfully, they all look pretty good. This one gave me a bit of a trouble, but it's close enough for government work. I'm going to continue sewing these on the left until I have on the right, until I have a completed block. Oh, I have to show you the pin cushion I'm using. It's a little bee pin cushion. Isn't this cute with little felt wings? You can put the pins through the wings and if you want, but I just stick them in here. A sweet lady gave this to me at my retreat and I'm embarrassed. I can't tell you who she was. There were so many people. It was the first day, but look how darling this is. Bzzz, it's my little pin holder. I've never used a bee before, but I enjoy my bee. Thank you to the sweet lady that made that for me. I think it is darling, and I enjoy using it. first. Look at these seams, how nicely they're pressed in those directions that they go in, every other one. I'll blow the steam out of my iron. Look how easy this is, you guys. This is amazing because it was pressed already. A couple of them that you have to go back and get, but if you just take it right across the top, those are all pressed down, and then you can flip it over and give it a really good press. And that is a block. And this, I believe, is 16 inches. It is 16.5 inches. Wow, pretty exact. I'm loving it. I'm sure it's 16.5 inches. Yep, 16.5 by 16.5. Not bad. So this is going to be a finished 16-inch block. It's going to be gorgeous in the quilt. I'm going to hurry up and do those other 3 stacks of 8. I'm loving this look. It's looking good. Let's see. One last block. And there is my quilt so far. Holy crap! I've never done this before. I sewed a block wrong. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Shoot. Can you see it? Shoot. Crap, crap, crap. Oh, shoot. This is the offender. Here, I'm going to be like the opinionated quilter. She always has a pointer. Love you, Maureen. All right, it's supposed to go red, blue, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, and mine goes red, blue, white. Shoot. Okay, if I undo this, I'm going to have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then down here, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I always fix my mistakes, guys. This is a dilemma. Shoot. I'm gonna need to think about this for a bit. Because, yeah, I'm gonna need to think about it. Okay, I've been thinking about it. I want to get this video out. I'm kind of over this quilt. I'm going to do something I've never done before and not going to fix it. But I am going to hide that block down here at the corner. So let me tumble this block over. What I did was sew 2 of the rows together before I was done playing with blocks. Let that be a lesson learned. Make sure you like everything before you sew it together. However, I didn't see it until I'd sewn it together, and I don't want to unsew this row and this row. So I'm just going to eat it and figure no one is going to notice it. And that's my plan. This is the offensive block right here. And does it look that bad? Maybe that's not the offensive block. Oh, this is the offensive side right here. So it lines up here, but not here. This little thing should be red, and these 2 should be blue. So I'm going to put that down in the very corner. and build around. Oh, that doesn't fit though, does it? I just realized this white has to line up with the white. Oh, so we're putting a fensive block right on top. Are people really going to notice this? I mean, they want a white, 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 and the white lines up. It's the red and the blue next to the white. I think I'm just gonna have to eat it, you guys, which kind of kills me. Oh my gosh. What a block, right? Let's stand back and look at it now. I like it and I'm going to make it work and I'm going to sew it together like this. Except there's something, it's square. Now, I don't have enough fabric to make another 4 blocks on the bottom to make this a rectangle quilt. And I do have a thing about rectangle and square quilts. I have an idea. We'll see how it looks. I did run it by the girls in the pool. And you know the girls in the pool because they're all pro quilters. Jokingly, only one is. But they appreciate quilts and they have good eyes and they know what works. So I ran the picture by the girls in the pool of what I was going to do, and they really, really liked it, and they chose this overwhelmingly. Let's stick with me. I'll sew this together, and then we'll do the pool and the girls. Oh, the girl in the pool suggestion to make it rectangle. All right, hang tight. I think that this should be a partial ta-da. So, ta. I know, I'm corny. I like it. I really like it. Can you see the error? You might be able to see it because you know where I put it. This is what I'm going to do to make the quilt oblong. I'm going to put a border on the top and a border on the bottom. And I call that Tracy-izing it because she's the first one that taught me that you can do borders that aren't the same on all 4 sides, but on the top of the bottom or on the sides, depending on the look that you want. So let me show you a couple of options. This was the option I thought I was going to go with. This is essentially a cheater piece that came with some of the fabric I bought. It was called Patriotic Garden. There's a panel with all the blocks in it and this stripe. And I thought that would be cute. That would be very scrappy. Now this is in the quilt and this is in the quilt. And then separately, this and this panel, or this stripe and this stripe are in the quilt. And I thought that would look really cute and scrappy. All the girls in the pool said, no, it wouldn't. It might look scrappy, but we don't like it. We're going to do this dark blue strip that is 3 inches. The blue, by the way, is going to go next to the quilt with the white, which is 2 inches, with, are you ready for this? I love it. The red star, which is 6 inches. This one is more the look I was going for, and the girls in the pool think the same thing. I think this will be awesome on the top and the bottom of the quilt, and it's going to add about 9.5 to 10 inches length on the top and length on the bottom. So let's take this away, and the next thing I need to do is measure the width of the top of the quilt and the width of the bottom of the quilt. Cut strips in that length. These are just great big long strips, but I'll sew them together. I'll sew these 3 together, then I'll put them on the quilt, and I'll be done and ready for quilting. Oh, I haven't even thought about a back. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do for a back. I'll have to figure something out. Dang it. Shoot, dang it. Oh well, I'll figure it out. I'm sewing the border pieces together now. I'm going to stitch the white pieces onto the blue, and then when I'm finished with that, I will stitch the red stars on to the white. Now, it is time to press my strip. I want the blue next to the quilt and the red on the outside. And so I've marked this one with those pins. That's going to be my bottom border. And the other one without pins will be my top border. I want to find the center of this border and mark it. And I think they were right in the middle. If you noticed a couple of segments ago, when I was piecing these together, the strips, my mouth was moving. And I'm going to hear comments in the video. I'm going to hear comments on the video that say, I missed what you were saying. There wasn't any sound. There was just music. Well, I had a customer call about her quilts that she had just sent, and that was Miss Paula Brill. But anyway, we were talking about her quilt order. Then we got talking about the Yellowstone quilt, because the quilt that she sent me to long arm for her is the Yellowstone quilt. And I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together. And then I remembered a post where in that Yellowstone television show that everybody was so excited about, there was a scene where there was a woman wrapped in a quilt. They're calling that the Yellowstone quilt. Well, Paula made her version of it, and that's what I'm going to be quilting for her. Kind of excited to do it, and that's what we were talking about. So, no, you didn't miss any video. I'm going to find the center, just like this. Folding it in half, and gently, not tugging or stretching this puppy, but it's right on this seam. This is the top. Oh, this is getting fun. Fun. Okay, then I'll go over to the sides and pin the sides in. So you can take this small section and lay it out on your table, and it should just fit. And it does. Quite nicely, I might add. So I will pop a few pins in to hold it in place and pin the other side, and so I'm just telling you, I'm super duper. And last pin. Are you ready, Freddy? Oh, this is why you need a table to hold all of this bulk when you're sewing on borders or binding. And also, I'm going to be back stitching. just bar tacking it down, not bar tacking it, stitching it down real quick. I've got to see this. Oh my goodness. Can you say patriotic? I love it. I really love it. Let's get that second border on now. I'm going to press this real quick and meet you at the design wall. You guys, this is it. But do you see that I'm not alone in my room anymore? This is my friend Bev. She comes to my retreat. She lives right here in Emmett with me. She's a lot of fun, and she's brought a payment buy for her retreat. So she's fun to learn from at the retreat. She's really, really good. But I said, Bev, would you like to see what I'm doing right now? And of course you said,
oh gosh, yes.
Oh gosh, yes. But the best part is, we both love red, white, and blue. Bev, give them.
I'm in red, white, and blue.
And look, this was not planned. She's in red, white, and blue. Bev, I can't figure out what to put on the back side. I'm looking at two different pieces. Would you help me choose?
I would be happy to help you choose.
Okay, this is kind of fun because because I've decided that I am going to go down and quilt it today and put this video out on Saturday instead of Friday. I don't know, maybe we'll see, maybe it'll be Friday. So I have this red and I have this blue. Now, I don't know if you have to think about them. Let's hold them up to the camera and show everybody what's on the blue. Can you see the little bulldogs, the little Frenchies with crossed pins? I think they're adorable.
They were butterflies.
Oh, they're little Frenchies. And then there's this piece that's a little modern looking, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah, a little modern looking.
Yes.
So now remember, this is going to be the back. Okay, whatever Bev says is what's going on the back.
You know what? I love, love, love red. And so if I have a choice between red or blue, I'm always going to choose red.
Okay.
Always, always.
The Frenchies are going to have to wait for another quilt. I thought for sure this was going to be the quilt they were going on.
I love the red.
But this red is going on the quilt.
And look how beautiful it looks with the front.
Well, let's unroll it a little bit. It's a little bit, you know what? Someone else is coming upstairs. What in the world? We're having a party. We're in the sewing room, blue block.
I think the red is just perfect. So
I wondered who the dog grandma was.
You're kidding. Okay, be careful. Come around and come on the camera with us.
I brought you a prize.
You did? Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I really like it.
you like it?
it's
I
beautiful,
do.
isn't it?
Okay, come and stand in front of it. You got to be on camera. Guys, this is blue block. So two of my goody girls, my sewing girls, and Bev just picked out this backing for
Oh,
it.
that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
That is beautiful. Yes.
I offered, this was my first choice, the Frenchies. She says, "Oh, go with the red."
Yeah, go with the red.
See? Anyway,
We love red.
we're having a party, a quilting party.
Can't wait for the retreat.
Oh, the retreat's going to be fun. Patricia will be at the retreat. Bev will be at the retreat. Well, we might set up a machine for you to sew.
Oh, no.
She loves to work.
I like helping Michelle in the kitchen. It's
Just
fun.
wanting to.
So, hey, Blue Block, why don't you tell them what kind of ice cream Michelle's going to be making for the retreat? And I'll catch Bev in case she falls over with the light.
We got first tries.
Mm-hmm.
It is coconut, the best coconut I've ever had. It is so rich, with little streams of lime curd running through it. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Since coconut is
Yum.
like my favorite ice cream, and then lime. Oh my goodness.
So at our retreat, we're having homemade coconut lime swirl ice cream. And I think we're going to do a little butter cookie with them.
Oh, that sounds
for dessert.
wonderful.
Doesn't that sound good?
It sounds wonderful.
So Bev just brought her payment by for the retreat, and Patricia just came by, and you know what? This has just been too much fun. I can't wait to make this video. And hey, slide over. Let's
Bye.
bye, everybody.
Everyone.
This isn't off a dead cat or dog or fox. It's my keys. Please, I don't want to hear from PETA. Please. Okay.
I had
Bye.
one and I lost it. Oh, thanks for coming by, you guys.
Loved it. Thank you.
Holy cow, I hope I had this turned on.
That was fun.
I've got the quilt on with that red backing that Beverly chose. I just need to finish basting it down and then set the design on it. Action! I am done quilting it. Ta-da! And happy 4th of July to you. Do you want to see the texture of the quilting? Let me get it up here close, move it around in the light. I used neon red thread, and the pattern I put on it was one of my star-spangled patterns. So I hope you can see the pattern. There's a lot of swirls, there's flags waving, and then there's stars. So it's really a fun pattern. I love the texture. I used Hobbs wool batting because I wanted a lightweight quilt with a little bit of poof, and that's what I got. But I can't wait to get this on my couch and have it for several weeks. However, did you notice that it's not bound? There's no binding on it. That is because I don't have any fabric to bind it. I tried a lot of fabrics and nothing was happening, you guys. The only blue that was perfect is this one. I've had it on my shelf for quite a while. It's called Summertime, and it's fireworks and stars. It's out of print, so my only hope was to do an internet search for it, and guess what? I found it, and I want to give a shout out to this shop. It's called Polar Fabrics, like P-O-H-L-A-R Fabrics, in Liberty, Indiana. That's about, I think, an hour east of Indianapolis. So if you're ever in the area, go support Polar Fabrics, one of the local quilt shops there, and it will be here probably in a week. But as soon as it comes, you bet I am going to cut it out and bind this quilt and wrap up and snuggle in it. This is how it looks on the other side. Whoops, that's my design wall. It's very red. There you go. I say Bev picked a good backing for it. I one of these days I'll find something to put my Frenchie bulldogs on. But I thought this was it, but nope, it wasn't. I can't wait to take it to the pool in the morning and show the girls, because they are the ones that told me to use this border. And I want to thank Bev and Patricia Blue Block for being good sports. Do you remember the ice cream that Michelle is making for the retreat? Coconut lime. Oh, it was so good. Anyway, I'm super excited about that. And there's still tickets available. So run out and get yourself a ticket. If you're traveling and don't want to fly with your machine, email me. I'll set you up with a sewing machine. And until then, thank you for watching my channel. Thank you to those of you who subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed yet, would you please subscribe? I would love to make my goal of 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I can't do it without you. Help a quilter out. Anyway, thanks. I've got a great video planned for you next week. Until then, bye. Have a great week.